Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Hello, everyone in the cleaning business world. Jeannie Henderson here with another episode of True Grime Stories. And this is going to be a great episode today, an inspiring story from our friend Liel Cheri. Liel is from Georgetown, Texas, where she runs Cinderella's cleaning maid services with her husband, Michael. And she was sharing some of her story before we got started today. She has a great story about building her business after having a downturn in her personal life and losing a business that she and her husband had built together prior to that outside of the cleaning industry. So Liel is originally from Russia, raised in Israel, and now here in the U.S. where she met her husband. But he's also from Israel, right? Is that right? Yeah, that's cool. So they lost their business during the pandemic, started Cinderella cleaning maid services, started into the CBF program, and was really able to grow their business. And I know that we're going to learn some great tips about how to get unstuck and grow your business today from Liel. So welcome, Liel. Thank you for joining us on True Grime Stories.
Thank you so much. That's such an honor to be here.
Yeah, well, I've been looking forward to talking with you since I last saw you at our conference back in January, and you were sharing your progress with me. It's just exciting to see people make such quick progress. So how long have you been in the cleaning business?
So we're going to celebrate our third anniversary next in April. So in a month.
Oh my goodness, 3 years.
3 years.
So that's quite a whirlwind. And you have how many technicians working with you now?
Today we have 12 technicians.
12 technicians. That's amazing. And from what I understand, you are approaching or you're at the $1 million revenue mark?
So we are really close. I can smell it. And
I love it.
We're aiming to pass that big time this year.
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations. So in less than 3 years, you're going to, be at nearly $1 million. It's just mind blowing to think that, you can take a business, start it from scratch. Liel started in the field, just like many of us do, cleaning houses. And today being the CEO of, $1 million company. So congratulations.
Thank you. I still cannot believe that. I need to pinch myself sometimes.
It's not a dream, it's the real thing. That's so great, but it is a dream come true. And such a great example for everyone that it can happen. I was looking at the community that you're in. It looks like an average American city. A lot of times I talk to cleaning business owners and they think, oh, I can't have $1 million business. My city's not big enough. There are not enough customers. I'm pretty sure you can dispute that, because I think your town's about 100,000 people, right?
Something like that. But our town is blooming. So you have a great, demographically, we're in a really good place. However, we also have lots of competition. So if we just Google cleaning services around us, we can find like maybe hundreds.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to someone earlier this week, and they said, well, they were thinking about starting to market in the next city over. And I asked them why. And they said, well, we just have a lot of competition. And I hear that all the time because I think every city is like that. The cleaning industry is booming.
Yes.
There's hundreds of them, but you've really found a way to differentiate yourself. And I have to tell you, I didn't tell you this earlier, but Cinderella is like one of my all-time favorite fairy tale characters. So why did you choose Cinderella as your name?
That's a great question because that's how I felt at that moment, like when
Mhm.
we lost our business and then we ran out of money. We needed to sell our house and we had a
Mm.
beautiful 4,100 square footage house. So I felt like Cinderella. And now I need to go and scrub toilets to
Mhm.
bring money to the table to feed my
Mhm.
family and start all over again. So I kind of like resonated with, and it's also one of my favorite Disney movies.
It is such a good story. Well, and a lot of entrepreneurs go through that experience. Sadly, unfortunately, my husband and I lost our restaurant business in
Hmm.
a similar situation and had to start over again. And that's how we started our cleaning business as well. And it's been such a blessing. I never wanted to lose all of that, but through losing it, I found something that I really, really love. And it seems like
Hmm.
that's happened for you and Michael as well.
Yes, yes. This business changed my life, changed my mindset, changed like I would say everything. So I'm grateful that I had the courage, to step
Hmm.
in, and especially when I wasn't supported by family or friends that were telling like, couldn't you find like something better to do, like cleaning
Mm.
houses. So, but I'm so glad I didn't listen to anyone and I just followed my, I don't know, intuition, I guess, that
Mhm, mhm.
gonna create something out of it.
Well, the people who, change the world are often thought of as being crazy at first by
Mhm.
everyone else, right? And, when some of the best ideas, everyone around, the person who comes up with those ideas, people tell them they're crazy.
Mhm.
And so now I take it as if people are telling me I'm crazy, then I must be going in the right direction. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, right. Because it's someplace that other people are not willing to go. They're
Yeah,
not willing to do the hard work, and you did. And so the other thing that I love is that you and Michael work together, right?
we are. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you split those roles? Because a lot of us in the cleaning industry also work with our partner, our spouse.
Mhm.
So how do you split up those roles?
I don't know. It just happens. He loves sales, so I'm like, okay, here you go, do the sales. I love
Mhm.
training, so I do, like the training, then the administrative part, and somehow we found this harmony. And if I need help, and I'm like, hey, can you help me with that? And he's like, sure. So
Mhm.
we never had actually. I mean, we do fight over things like why didn't call this client and like how did you
Mhm.
forget about this,
Yeah.
interview or something like that.
Mhm.
But overall, we do have a really great harmony. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. And I think that's such a key to it is that you kind of find the piece of it that you love and it's usually
Hmm.
not the same thing. And like stay in your lane, do your part. My husband and I worked together for decades and he was kind of more of the marketing or the, operations guy, excuse me, and I was more of the marketing person.
Hmm.
And we just kind of went in those directions. So yeah, that's very cool. Well, congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
So, the title of our podcast is True Grime Stories. And the reason for that is we know that almost everyone who has a cleaning business at one point got stuck. Like something went wrong, something got you stuck in a certain spot. What was it like when you were in your grime scene, so to speak? What was a place where you were stuck with your business or couldn't figure out the next steps?
Well, I was fortunate enough to find Debbie at the beginning of my journey.
So, how long
So,
had you been cleaning at that point?
8 months.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was on my own. I was pretty happy, as I was, trying to think already like, okay, time to start to create something out of that. I didn't know how. And I was sure I'm going to get the right guidance whenever it's going to be the right time.
Mhm.
And God heard me and just sent Debbie my way. And but still, I mean, we joined CBF and then here it comes. You have so much information, like
Mm.
where to start, what to do first.
Mhm.
So can be a little bit overwhelming.
Were you working on your own in the field at that point?
Yes.
Okay. So you had that big step to take of starting to build your team, right?
Exactly. And that was
Mhm.
one of my biggest challenges. So, like, okay,
Mhm.
we need to hire now. First employee, right? And so, first employee lasts for a month. Second one lasts for like 2 months.
Oh my
And then,
goodness.
okay, so how I do that to keep them stay with
Mhm.
us. So I was trying, to get into to educate myself and listening more to the modules and get advice from our CBF community, which are amazing.
Mhm.
So, and slowly but slowly, it took me about an year or so to build my team. And I
Mhm.
adore our team right now. We have such a beautiful team, and some of them we have two people that are gonna be with us for 2 years very soon. So
Wow. That's
yes,
amazing. I mean, they're
yeah.
they're been with you, 2/3 of the life of your business at that
Hmm.
point. That's so great. Well, and there's nothing more rewarding when when you finally start to figure out that issue. Yeah.
Yes.
Would you say that building your team was your biggest challenge, or was there another, obstacle or mountain that you had to climb to get to this amazing success that you have today?
I would say our team,
Mhm.
because even though I do have, a few people that have been with us for quite a while, but a lot of them, we're coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. So it's like, all right, start all over, like interviewing again and then training again. And
Mhm.
then every single time, okay, what I can do better, how I can improve. And it's, a learning curve with every experience.
Mhm.
So that was definitely challenging because when we have such big, how you say that, like employees, I can't find the word, when they change a lot.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Turnover?
Turnover, thank you.
Yes, yeah.
So then of course we lose quality, we lose clients, right? Because that was our main problem.
So kind of overcoming that turnover. Some
Hmm.
people call it the churn. It's like a
Yes.
revolving door, and it's just like people are just coming in and going out, coming in and going out, and with that just comes chaos,
Oh
right?
yes, a lot of
Mhm.
chaos, and then you cannot move forward because you have to constantly to work on that part.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and I think, if you talk to anyone in the cleaning industry, the number one thing that they talk about is team building and
Mhm.
finding the right people, and it's probably, I would say, the number one thing that holds back our growth is not being able to build a team. And it's the one thing I think that drives a lot of people away from taking their business to the next level because it
Mhm.
just seems too hard, or they start to believe that there aren't people out there who can work. Did you ever catch yourself feeling that way?
Sometimes, yes. Like they come to the interview and they're like they passionate, they want to work, and then they just drop during the training, never pick up the phone, and I'm like, what's going on? And then yeah, so we even had like a month where we didn't pass four people started training and none of them finished training. So
Oh,
then you
that
start
is
questioning yourself,
painful.
like what I'm doing wrong, what's happening, and yeah.
All right. So that's a really good, like, scary story right there is, you hire four people and none of them work out. And it's like, how do we keep pushing ahead as entrepreneurs, through those tough times? So let's take a look at just like that experience right there. What did you learn from it? And then how did you move past that to the point where now, I mean, you obviously have a system in place where you're able to grow your team. So, you're building your team, but you've got this constant turnover, and in 1 month you had four people go through your training program and not make it. How did you fix that?
As you mentioned, that word system is to creating the right system. So you
Mhm.
sitting down and building the right policies and making sure you um, clear when you interviewing, when you doing the training. So it took me time to put this system together,
Mm-hmm.
and also to make those who we hire excited about the job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how you keep them, right?
Yes.
Is, um, I would say that probably one of the number one questions that people ask me, and even people that I'm training in my own cleaning business, is, how do you interview people and know, what kind of questions do you ask? How can you interview and know that they're the right fit? Have you created a system around your interviewing process?
Yes.
All right. Can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we try to trigger them with, different questions. I mean, we do have set of questions that, we want to see like if they're right fit, but then we will start to give them examples of, well, what would you do if you're going to get into a situation that like that? And then what would you do, let's say, if your car not going to work tomorrow? Like, what is the solution? How are you going to arrive to work? Or what if your kids are sick? So we're trying to see if
Oh,
they,
uh-huh.
giving us solutions to the problems, and then that shows a little bit about their personality, about who they are, if they truly care, or they're like just I don't know, so yeah, so it's about finding the right questions to those who are in front of you, and they can be slightly different, depends on um, the
Yeah.
person who is in front of you.
Right. Yeah. You kind of have to dig into that. Well, I love that. I'd like to go a little bit deeper on this. So let's pause right here though. And kind of, we've identified a grime scene. We're starting our investigation. Let's pause here and hear a little bit from Cleaning Business Fundamentals, the program that Liel mentioned helped her to grow to her nearly $1 million business today. So let's hear from CBF. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. Welcome back, everyone, to True Grime Stories. We're here with Liel Cheri with Cinderella's Cleaning Maid Services in Georgetown, Texas. And Liel was just sharing with us how she overcame that challenge of building a team after dealing with a lot of turnover. And I love what you were talking about in your interview process, kind of turning the table on the interviewee. I think a lot of us, when we're doing interview questions, we're asking them questions to identify if they could be a good cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
But I love what you did. You kind of identifying like their reliability in
Absolutely.
the interview questions, and how personally responsible they're going to be to their job. Yeah. That is really great. So thinking about, like one of your top people, you mentioned that you have like these, two amazing people on your, or you have some people on your team who are hitting the 2-year mark, and you
Mm-hmm.
only have a 3-year-old business. So that's really awesome. Uh, like, when you've identified them, like what have you identified as your like ideal employee profile? Like, who is the person? I think that's one of the things that we also kind of miss the boat on during our interview process, is knowing like who we're actually looking for, you
Yeah.
know?
So for us, it's very important to find a person
Mm-hmm.
who cares about the job, who cares about our clients, about us, and show that through their actions. Like, I mean, if they late, I mean, everyone can be late, right? But they responsible enough to let us know and show, um, when it comes to doing their job. So I do have some of my teams, and they don't know how to hand a like do something, so they call and ask for an advice because they don't want to leave something undone or
Mm-hmm.
damaged, or Yes. So for me, it's really important to see that they care.
Yeah. Now, how do you identify that during the interview process? Because that's digging deep, and people tend to represent, they try to be the person that they need to be during the interview. But as you were talking about earlier, they don't
Mhm.
necessarily always show up that way at work. So, how do you identify that during the interview process that they care?
So all of them had previous work experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we try to ask a little bit questions about their previous work experience, like what they did like, what they didn't like, and if they gonna give a 2 week notice to their current job or not, or if it's okay, we're gonna call their previous employer. It's just
Mm-hmm.
everything that we can get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Digging deep into their previous experience is smart because they'll start to tell stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are probably more revealing than they realize that those stories are. And I love that you mentioned the 2-week notice.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we're hiring, we always want people who can start tomorrow,
Exactly.
but not if they're going to leave their previous employer in a lurch, you know?
And I truly appreciate those who, provided 2 week notice. And because I know, like, they do care,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to work with me. And for any reason they need to leave, they will respect, and also gonna treat us the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great sign. All right. So, some other things that you have found even like early in the process? Are there some things that happen during their training week that you find are revealing or helpful to, you know, onboarding and keeping a great employee?
What we found out is those who are engaging, asking questions, reading through their materials, and really, doing their homework. Because those who just, showing up and then we ask them questions and they have no idea, oh, I got back home yesterday tired. I didn't read through my, notes or
Mhm.
so it's already shows like you don't care. You don't
Mm.
want to really be here.
Mhm.
Yes. And you're already in your first days of, a new job and you don't even take a little effort to learn.
Right.
Your training.
Mhm. Yeah. Do you find now that you've kind of polished your interview process that more people make it through that first week of training though?
Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you mentioned that you've had people stay with you for a long time. So, reducing turnover is, attracting the right people, finding them in the interview process, right? Keeping them
Hmm.
through training, but then, you have to keep them for months and months for it to really pay off. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, what are some of those strategies that, once they get through their first week of training and in cleaning business fundamentals, we get people out there working on their own pretty quickly. What are some ways that you get people, or encourage people to stay with your company?
Yes. So all those I learned from Debbie from our cleaning business fundamentals. She
Mhm,
shares a lot how to keep employees, how to treat them, and how to create company culture. So
mhm,
I've been re-listening to the modules again and again, taking notes, and uh, so she's telling that our employees is our VIPs. So I'm always, making sure to treat them as VIPs, doing VIPs parties, and um, I love creating relationships with them. I love
mhm,
picking up the phone and ask them, how are you doing? And what challenges are you facing? And how we can help you? Would you like, to get together? I do with them lots of, one-on-ones, just kind of like to make sure that they are happy. And I'm always telling them, it's one of our core values as a company is joy. If you don't feel joy where you are, I don't want you to be here.
wow.
I think you
Mhm,
can find, something other else to do, but you have to be happy where you at. And if you're not happy with us, I don't want you here.
Wow.
So I really showing them they do have my back, and
Mhm.
I am there, I would say always for them, you know.
Mhm.
And I really love making with them relationships.
That is profound. And I think many business owners, kind of shy away from getting too personal with
Hmm.
people. They don't want to, like, I don't want to get into their personal life. I don't want to pry, that kind of thing. What are, what kind of response then do you see when you're approaching your team members? You're showing you care in return for
Hmm.
them caring about the work and that you care about them personally. You're keeping in touch, you're building a relationship. What kind of response do you see from your team members?
Every team meeting that we do, I hear so many times, "You're the best boss I ever had."
Oh,
And that just melts my heart.
oh,
Like they share how they never felt appreciated in in previous jobs before. They
mm-hmm.
never got recognized. So it really means a lot to me that I'm able to bring this, to our little family, to make them feel special, to make them feel appreciated. And we really take time in each meeting, to talk about all the positive feedback for each and every one of employees, and select employee of the month, and and birthdays and different holidays. So I also love talking with them about personal life, because we're
Right.
humans, and when you face
Yeah.
challenges and nobody support you, then when you show up for work and not you never give your best. But when your boss knows what's happening with you, and you don't want to disappoint them, even though that you're going through challenges.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's so profound that, people give back what's kind of given to them. They reflect, right? So
Yes.
you're showing how much you care and they don't want to disappoint you
Mm-hmm.
because you've acted so caring in their direction. And it's such a great example to all of us, when we get those thoughts in our mind of, well, people don't want to work and, I can't hold on to any employees. It's to really look at them as human beings, not just employees, but
Yes.
you know, they have a life outside of work, and work is really just designed to support that life. And
Mm-hmm.
how do we make it better? How do we make it so that they have joy? Oh my gosh, I love the word joy. So they have joy when they're at work. They spend, you know, a quarter of their waking hours are spent working for their adult lives. Like, how
Yep.
do we as employers make that great? That is so, so amazing. And such a great example. So on the other side of all this, now that you've like taken action, you've dove in, you're building this great team through, you know, identifying caring individuals, but then in return, they get a lot of care from you. It's kind of that caring circle, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
right? What kind of results are you seeing on your team, in your business? Where do you see your business going?
Um, I'm aiming high, I'm aiming to double our team and business for the next year. And,
Wow.
we have some leaders on our group that are excited to get
Mhm.
new team members so they can, teach them and train them. And, so, yes.
Wow. Yeah. And that's, you're the leader that's inspiring leaders who want to lead others. And it, one of the things I think that's so important at this point in your growth is that you're getting people excited about the future of your company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are
Um,
excited. Yeah. And we
yeah.
just recently moved into a new office, and it was beautiful, to receive from them like, "Congratulations, we're so happy, you so deserve that." So, and I'm like, "No, that's not me, that's us. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it without you."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And we have to realize that
Hmm.
we need our team to elevate, to get excited about the future if this business is going to go somewhere else. We can't do it all by ourselves. We can't
Yes.
build where you're headed to a $2 million business, just by yourself. You have to have a great team with you on that journey. So, gosh, congratulations. I can't wait to see what happens a year from now and have you back on True Grime Stories to hear, the challenges that you face doubling in size, because that is it's a big challenge, but we see people do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's really having the systems in place. So congratulations on, all the things you've accomplished, but especially thank you for sharing about this really important topic about finding the right people and keeping the right people, right?
Yes.
Um, that is something that I would say is the number one struggle of all businesses, but really in the cleaning industry, a tough one.
I have to add something.
Yeah.
So another big factor is to pay your employees well, right? You can be caring,
Yeah.
you can create joy, but they need to pay their bills. And
Mm-hmm.
I won't able to do that without Debbie. Okay, without cleaning business fundamentals, how she teaches to pay your employees well.
Yeah.
And I am saying on every single meeting with proud, like we are the highest paying job in town.
Oh, isn't that
So
awesome?
yes, it's a really great feeling, that I'm not only able to support my family financially, but I'm also able to support another with our office staff, another like 14 or 16, families that can make a better living working with us.
Oh, yeah. I just got goosebumps. I mean, it's a tremendous responsibility that we take on as
Oh,
entrepreneurs,
yes. Yes.
that we now are responsible for the livelihoods of all these people who are working with us, and
Mhm.
that you're so proud of the fact that you're able to pay them well and not having that scarcity mindset of, oh, if I pay them well, I won't have enough,
Yes.
right? Did you have that fear at first?
At the beginning,
Yeah.
yes,
Uh-huh.
because every business has lots of expenses, so how
Right.
to manage that correct.
Mhm.
But again, thanks to cleaning business fundamentals, everything is laid out. So
Right.
it was
Right.
easy to follow, and I believe I would probably give up long, long time ago and shut down my business if not
Mm.
cleaning business fundamentals. They be in our amazing community, so
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
hard. It
Right.
takes, a village to build a business. And we
Right.
have such a beautiful and supportive village, to keep pushing forward.
Right. Yeah. And Liel recently joined our CBF Pros group, right?
Hmm.
This past year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And that is, our next level inside of cleaning business fundamentals. As businesses grow, you kind of move into a group where you're with other businesses that are larger in size. And so you can learn together, solve problems together, grow together. It's such a great community. I absolutely love it myself. So I
Yes, definitely.
can't help but talk about it. And Liel was mentioning the pay system that Debbie has taught us and that we teach inside of Cleaning Business Fundamentals. It does allow the business owner to pay every employee well, inspire them through the pay system to want to help you grow,
Hmm.
and at the same time still earn a great income for the business owner and be able to grow rapidly, which is just absolutely amazing. So I'm glad you brought that up too. Thank you.
Some of my employees, they are making as much as nurses that working night shifts.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So we
Wow.
have employees that getting paid somewhere between 35 to $45 per hour.
Wow. With tips and everything added.
Tips and everything. Yes.
Yes. Oh, isn't that awesome? That is
Yes.
so great.
I love seeing those paychecks. I'm like, oh, that feels so good.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that the cleaning business can be that way, and that sure helps hold on to the right people when they earn a great income like that. So
Hmm.
congratulations,
Thank you.
and yeah, I can understand why people love working with you. You are very inspiring. So look forward to watching your business grow. So as we wrap up today, Liel, what is one thing or a couple of things that you would tell cleaning business owners who are either just starting out like you and Michael did, or they've been doing it for a while and they're kind of stuck? What are some pieces of advice that you would give them?
The biggest piece of advice is don't try to figure things out on yourself, on your own. I mean, yes, you can. There are lots of information available online. But if you want peace of mind and have quality of life, then join CBF. Join CBF. Join Cleaning Business Fundamentals, because that's a life-changing program. And I wish all the cleaning business around me could join CBF. So
yeah. Well, and that's great. Thank you for sharing that. But it is so true that we all try to find the shortcut, the easy way, learn it by ourselves, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, the cheapest way. But the cheapest way is often the wrong way, the longest way.
And costs you way more eventually.
Right. Well, you think of the thousands of dollars you lose while you're trying to teach yourself, because you held on to a few $1,000s up front. You missed out making $100,000 more this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we see that happen all the time. I've seen people who are stuck at, 300,000 or 500,000 a year in revenue, and they get a coach and suddenly their business takes off and they're over $1 million.
Yes.
But they were stuck at that spot for years, and so great piece of advice. Don't wait. If you are stuck, find a coach. Look at Cleaning Business Fundamentals. There are lots of great coaches out there, but find somebody who can help you. Don't try to figure it out by yourself. Great piece of advice. Well, thank you, Liel, for being part of True Grime Stories. That was a great story to share, and I know it's going to help a lot of people. And to our audience, thank you for being with us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of True Grime Stories. If you want to learn more about Cleaning Business Fundamentals, I hope you'll reach out to me. There's a link in the show notes where you can set up a free call. I'd love to learn about your business and talk about some ways to help you grow. And be sure to subscribe, download, and share this episode. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of True Grime Stories. Thanks again, Liel. We'll see you soon. That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download. And check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.